C question. It was actually our.
Oh, A block is almost over. Oh my gosh, we're gonna be performing during B block.
Hello and welcome to the Concord-Carlisle High School commencement for the class of 2022. To start, I now invite CCHS Senior Class President Eli Holmes to the stage to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody willing and able, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Please remain standing. The CCHS graduation band will now play the national anthem. Please be seated. I kindly ask everybody, before we begin the celebration, just to turn your cell phone off, please. And it is my honor to welcome Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Laurie Hunter.
Good morning and welcome. I want to welcome parents, faculty, members of the Concord-Carlisle Regional School Committee, Principal Mastrulo, Assistant Principals Miller and Stahl, other distinguished guests, and most importantly, the Concord-Carlisle High School class of 2022. Unlike most people, I actually love public speaking, usually. I find this annual event to be the most daunting and is in fact the only time I ever actually fully write the speech ahead of time. So feeling that growing pressure to come up with the perfect words, I consulted with my family since we recently enjoyed my daughter's college graduation. I asked, what makes a good graduation speech? The immediate and strongest response from my 20 and 22-year-olds was, you guessed it, keep it short. They actually said, Mom, no one cares unless you go on too long. My mother then chimed in, saying that the speeches last week at the college graduation were just too negative, focused only on the many world hardships right now. So please, be positive. People don't want to get depressed while they are listening. So, okay, short and positive. I guess you'll be the judges of that criteria for success. In being positive, I have to start by naming the challenges of your high school careers so we appreciate those positives even more. Let's just make the list. COVID, quarantine, vaccines, testing, masks, distancing, hybrid, closures, lockdown, inflation, racism, war, school shootings, and more. Those are real and serious challenges, even historic, some would say. Naming all of that makes me wonder about how events actually become historic. Are we in this historic moment like everyone keeps saying? Did historic figures that we now know commonly consider important their actions historic, or is it only in hindsight that it became important? So we are in Concord, which comes with all of its unique historical connections. I may be the only superintendent who ever got a call asking, "Where is that bell Paul Revere made that was rung by Thoreau?" I say, "Wait, we have one of those?" And yes, then I spend a day asking everyone I can find, did we lose Paul Revere's bell? And trying to wonder what explanation I will have if we did. Thankfully, in a happy ending, it didn't take long to learn the bell is safely stored at Alcott. I am also the superintendent who, as I understand it, has predecessors with a few familiar names like Bronson Alcott and Ralph Waldo Emerson's son, Edward, after Ralph had served and left the school committee. Oh, just some small shoes to fill. Did any of those special individuals in history know the importance of their work at the time? Did people like Bronson Alcott and Ralph Waldo Emerson know that their words and ideals would be ones we would study still today for inspiration? Let's keep going. Did Thoreau know that when he wrote about the stressors of his time, about the gold rush and locomotive taking off, that we'd still relate to his hope for the calmness that nature brings? Did Louisa May Alcott realize that her strong feminine characters would help all women see who they could be for generations? Did the Robbins family know that their support of those previously enslaved would still inspire equity so many years later? Did those determined citizen warriors in 1775 have any idea that democracy would be so important that we would fight world wars and wars lasting to this very day to preserve it? Maybe is my answer. Maybe they felt perhaps the way we feel when we step back and think about some really important, hard, exhausting, infuriating, frustrating, scary events that are happening now while people are very vocal, verbal, demonstrative, and passionate. Maybe the actions we take in response to those events is how history happens. Maybe the actions we take during these events give us the hope to get through them without being perfectly sure of what the outcomes are. So pick a word: optimist, dreamer, idealist. That's how history happens. Change starts with a spark. In his children's book, The Dot, Peter Reynolds tells the story of a young girl named Vashi who lacks confidence in art class. With a smile on her face, her teachers tell her to just make a mark and see where it takes you. Vashti just stabs at the page to make a plain, angry mark. And yet that little dot becomes the beginning of a journey that changes Vashti and the world around her. So how do you make your mark? Class of 2022, you have already started to make your mark. It brought us hope and pride to see you find those blank pages you wanted to fill and to leave a mark there. Here's just some of what we saw. We saw you share your passion for equity and respect for those of all races. We saw you share your passion for mental health and wellness. We saw you share your passion for the environment and sustainability. We saw you share your passion for peace and democracy. We saw you share your passion for equity for LGBTQ individuals. We saw you share your passion for equity between genders. We saw you share your gratitude for first responders. We saw you advocate for political and social issues. We saw you share your passion for safety in schools. We saw that you serve in student government or leadership positions. We saw you share your compassion and service for senior citizens. We saw you share your compassion and service for younger students and children. We saw you serve your community through athletics and team efforts to serve others. We saw you serve others by collecting for those in war-torn areas of the world like Ukraine. We saw you advocate for improvements here at CCHS like the skate park and others. We saw you serve your community by doing civic work such as at town meeting, volunteering at local businesses, at another school, or the many other spaces in your community. And finally, we saw you support and tend to your family, friends, pets, school, homes, and each other. You left your mark, turning difficult times into opportunity. This is what hope looks like to me. Your care, support, concern, advocacy, commitment to one another, to change, to equity, to the community, and to making this very challenged world a better place is extraordinary and exceptional. It gives us all hope. Please join me in applauding the class of 2022 and their efforts. As I close, I know you will keep making your mark, and maybe it will make what these moments become historical as you improve the greater good. Today, we also share what we wish for you. For that, I turn to, again, one of our most famous Concordians, Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said it so eloquently. This is my wish for you. Comfort on difficult days, smiles when sadness intrudes, rainbows to follow the clouds, laughter to kiss your lips, sunsets to warm your hearts, hugs when spirits sag, beauty for your eyes to see, friendships to brighten your being, faith so that you can believe, confidence for when you doubt, courage to know yourself, patience to accept the truth, love to complete your life. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Thank you, Dr. Hunter. Welcome all. My name is Michael Mastrullo, and I'm the principal of Concord-Carlisle High School. And right now, at this moment, I have this feeling, and I assume some of you have felt this feeling before. It's the feeling right before you give a speech to a large crowd, and it's really important, and you know your speech is going to kill. I know it, but you don't, so it's like my own little secret. I am here to celebrate the great class of 2022, offer a few words of wisdom, and hopefully finish speaking before you finish listening. I begin with a portion of my favorite poem, Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. It begins, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Graduates, now we all know you can't go 2 places at once. More than a few times in your life, you will reach a point where 2 roads diverge, a fork in the road of life, where you will be left to make a decision that will impact the rest of your life. As you sit here today on the verge of graduating from high school, you have reached that fork. For 13 years, you have traveled the well-worn path leading to school. By law, you are required to attend. On specific days, at specific times, you don't have a choice. And anyone who lives with teenagers knows that high school students love to sleep in. And that is why we decided to educate you at 7 in the morning. And most high school students love nothing more than sleeping till 10:30. And that is why we decided to feed you lunch at 10:30. Following graduation, the path you choose is far less certain. I want to share another poem with you. This one penned by my children when they were really, really small. And they're here today. Hi, May and Brooke. Yeah, let's clap for them. That'd be nice. I don't think that will embarrass them at all. That's good. They were young, but their poem offers words of wisdom that are fitting as you embark on this journey. Their poem. It's okay to be shy. Sometimes you just gotta say hi. That's actually it. That was it, right there. But students, you get the message. Put yourself out there and meet some new people. Your journey to this day has been anything but easy. We have endured much since March 2020. To suggest COVID put a damper on your high school experience is a gross understatement. It has been far less than fun on many occasions. And I could list hundreds of things that occurred over the past 2 years that are far less than fun. And because I'm the principal, I'm going to. For example, TikTok challenges. Not fun. Do you know when ripping your own off the wall is funny? Yeah, I don't either. Murder hornets, monkeypox, not fun. Tom Brady going to another team, not fun. Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl for another team, kind of funny. Prom 2020, very fun. And this year we required all students to stay to the end. Forced fun, if you will. 30 students running for the exits while chaperones take a group photo, kind of funny. People yelling at me for lifting the mask mandate, not fun. While simultaneously, people yelling at me because we require masks, not fun. Zoom meetings, never fun. Your microphone is off. You're muted. Turn your microphone on, dum-dum. But this one. The parking situation at CC, not fun. There are fewer parking issues at the Starbucks down the street. Juniors stealing seniors' parking spaces, not fun. Repeatedly warning juniors not to steal your parking spaces, not fun. Towing their cars, kind of fun. BD not sharing their parking spaces, not fun. Sharing is caring, we're neighbors, just a few. One-way hallways, not fun, especially when your class is right there and you have to travel around Cape Horn just to get to your next class. In September 2020, being back in person learning, kind of fun. Students forgetting their masks, never fun. The main office staff passing out masks the size of adult diapers when students forget their masks, kind of fun. Cell phone service in Concord, not fun. At CCHS, the ability to use your cell phone on the guest Wi-Fi network, kind of fun. Needing cell service to receive the next necessary text message to use your cell phone, not fun. Early release Wednesdays, very fun. Losing early release Wednesdays, not fun. Riding a high school bus in the dead of winter with the windows down, not fun. Holding an outdoor graduation ceremony in 2020, kind of fun. Holding a graduation ceremony outdoors in 2020 on the surface of the sun, not fun. It was 100 degrees. I threw that suit out. I sweated completely through it. Last year we held a combined prom and all-night live event called a masquerade, kind of fun. Getting 2 inches of rain and the lightning alarm sounding as soon as the event started, not fun. Watching this community rally together during a pandemic to support the kids of this school, kinda awesome. Give yourself a round of applause. Raising $300,000 for Kicks for Cancer, kind of fun. Holding outdoor theater and music productions, kind of awesome. Watching students play sports, smile, and laugh is nothing short of awesome. Holding a real prom this year, awesome. Sending students to a trip to DC this year, kind of awesome. Sitting here on this glorious day for graduation is so awesome. I'm really glad you clapped there because right here in my speech it says pause because they're going to clap, so thank you. On a far more serious note, as we near the end of this speech, not enacting common sense gun laws, not funny. Having 9 Supreme Court justices, 6 of which are men, decide the reproductive rights for 150 women, 150 million women, not funny. Students, you are now legal adults, and you can be an agent of change. Change will not come by yelling, screaming, and running out the door. Change will come by having a seat at the table. And when you are left out of the national debate on important things such as common sense gun control or your reproductive rights, you don't walk up to the table and ask, "Excuse me, sir, may I sit down?" You say, "Excuse me, you're in my seat." That was great because it said again that you were going to clap there, so perfect. Students, take the time to thank your loved ones. Because nobody gets here alone. I almost started crying, so I caught it though. So thank your loved ones because nobody gets here alone. We all need a person or people in this world that you know, no matter what, will be there for you. My parents, my girlfriend Jackie, are my people. I often say to my own children, I am always your best option. In fact, I am your best option on your worst day. Students, not only do you need a person in your life, you must be that person for someone else. I ask everyone, if you have a person or people that you can count on no matter what, throw your right hand in the air. If that person or those people are flawed, put your left hand in the air. Now throw both your hands in the air and wave them. No, I'm just kidding. But I suggest the following, that you think of your country in much the same way. The United States of America is not perfect. It's flawed. But make no mistake, we are all lucky to live here. At this very moment, right now, there are kids younger than you risking life and limb to hopefully have a seat where you're sitting one day. There are seniors in high school who live in Ukraine that a mere 100 days ago planned to celebrate the end of their high school career much the same way you are. And Russia has decimated Ukraine. And why? Because they can. But not for the military might of this country and the brave men and women who serve willingly, we could suffer the same fate. So Dylan Jennings, Ben Sprague, Daniel Rodriguez, and Sam Adams, please stand. Thank you. These young men will serve their country, and thank you. Ludwig Ty, are you here? So Ludwig will be leaving after this graduation ceremony, and Ludwig just finished writing code for an electric car company up the street, and he is going to Singapore to serve his mandatory service, an ally of the United States. So thank you, Ludwig. All right, in closing, your life is essentially a story. Make it the best story you will ever tell. It is your story. And with all good stories, you start with an outline. But you don't always know how it's going to end. And the exciting and sometimes scary part is choosing and adding in the details, which possibly will change your story entirely. And that's okay. Writing, as in life, revision is a necessary part of the process. Let's pretend your life is a 500-page novel. Today you are closing in on page 100. You have 400 pages left. And what are those pages going to say? I would like to close with the final lines of Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The last line, before I congratulate you, is from Winston Churchill. And it's fitting as we sit here on graduation. Today is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end. But it is the end of the beginning. I wish you well. And it is great pleasure that I am about to introduce the class president, who not only is destined for greatness, he really is. He's a future politician who I believe, I mean that in a positive sense, by the way. Sorry, no negative connotation there. But he has been a leader at this school, and he made a great contribution and commitment during the Prifty Day of Service recently and got the worst case of poison ivy I've ever seen. I'm so sorry, Eli. Please welcome to the stage Class President Eli Holmes.
There we go. All right. My poison ivy is getting better, by the way. It's great news. All right. Good morning. Thank you all very much for attending. It is an honor to have the opportunity to speak in front of all of you. I want to give a special thank you to the staff and administration who work hard every day to build and maintain a positive school environment. Our parents and families who have continuously supported us and our community. My classmates who have given me the opportunity to be class president for the last 4 years. And my fellow senior class officers, Shivani, Mia, Ali, Campbell, and AJ, who have worked tirelessly to facilitate school spirit and enthusiasm. Recently, while writing an essay for school, I was prompted to think deeply about a quote from the U.S. Admiral William Frederick Hazley. Hazley said, "There are no extraordinary men, just extraordinary circumstances that ordinary men are forced to deal with." This quote, saying that there are no naturally extraordinary people, could be interpreted as a negative attribute of humanity. We all love to fixate on people we think to be gifted with strengths that elevate them above the rest. However, our genetic potential being nearly identical to one another is one of the great beauties of the human species. If put in the correct circumstance, each and every one of us rises to the challenge. We are all disruptors, we are all innovators, we are all progressives, and we are all the leaders that help to change the world. The unique challenges and circumstances that mold us into becoming extraordinary people are not always obvious. The everyday battles we fight, pulling an all-nighter for a test, a musical performance, or dealing with the pressures of being a teenager at a competitive high school constantly pushes us to grow. High school is a transition period, a transition between being a kid and an adult, and there's a lot that needs to happen between. Whether it be social, academic, or personal, all of my fellow classmates have endured challenging times these past 4 years. When we came to high school, we were desperate to figure out where we belonged. Thinking back, I'm sure all of us can reflect on when our friend groups have changed, we dropped clubs or sports, or we went to social events where we didn't feel like we fit in. But that's okay. That was an important step of our transition. We needed to feel uncomfortable in order to find comfort in where we belong. I want to encourage each and every one of you to look at where you are now. Think about a group of people, whether they're from a sport, extracurricular, or social group, that makes you feel like you found where you can be yourself. The transition to becoming who we are was not easy, and for some of us, it was harder than others. We should not let these difficulties define us. Instead, we must remind ourselves of the successes, perseverance, and hard work that got us here today. Everyone's story is different, but we're all here, 4 years later, ready to complete the final ceremony of high school. To the disruptors, innovators, progressives, and leaders, we are all the ordinary people who have stepped up to the challenges of extraordinary circumstances, and I have no doubt that we will continue to do so. Thank you, and congratulations to us, the class of 2022.
It is now with great pleasure to introduce the faculty speaker. You can learn a little more about her in the program, Ms. Cricket McCaffrey Clark. And as she makes her way here, please read the introduction. She is more than impressive.
Good morning. Welcome and thank you to School Committee Chair Tracy Morano, school committee members, Dr. Hunter, Mr. Mastrullo, Mr. Miller, Ms. Stahl, Ms. Wolf, faculty, family, friends, and especially the amazing class of 2022. I am honored to have been invited here today to represent this faculty, this amazing faculty. I'm going to ad-lib this. When you leave here and go where you're going to realize how amazing these people are. And I hope that when you do, you take some time to thank them when you realize how amazing they actually are. I should have written that so I said it better, but I'm grateful to be here to help you celebrate your day. I hope that you use this day as a moment to enjoy all that you have accomplished and celebrate with your family and friends. Often when things come to an end, we experience a bit of a letdown. Performing in the school play or concert, playing in a big game, going to the prom, taking a trip, graduating from high school. At a time when we should feel happy and grateful, we sometimes feel a letdown. This letdown is unexpected and can catch us off guard. The truth is that the preparation and the time leading up to the big event is just as meaningful to your happiness as the big event itself, if not more so. The hours of practicing, the research and planning, the time spent with other people working towards the same goal. It is the journey in life that matters. Learning to be present and engaged and happy in your own journey is the key. Throughout my life, people have felt the need to express strong opinions about my journey. A teacher? You are too smart to be a teacher. You should go to medical school. You should be a lawyer. You should become a principal. No, thank you. Sorry. Why do you dress like a boy? Why do you wear suits? I was really intimidated when I saw you dressed to coach softball. You wear too much makeup. Why don't you wear makeup? You're a chemistry teacher? What an awful job. How do you do it? As a teacher, a softball coach, and especially as a parent, I could write pages and pages of suggestions and commentaries, criticisms, and praise that I have received over the years. I have decided that people mean well. Their intent is mostly to be helpful. At the end of the day, you can't live your life to satisfy other people. You shouldn't judge yourself any more by the number of likes you get than by the number of dislikes. Find a way to live the life that is right for you. Learn to be open to the possibilities and trust that what speaks to you probably speaks to you for a reason. When I decided to go in the Peace Corps, there were plenty of people expressing their doubts. 2 years? That is such a long time. Will you be safe? My fellow volunteers eventually shared with me that they picked me as the person who was most likely to ET, early terminate. In fairness, I was not the typical Peace Corps volunteer. It was probably my matching Andiamo luggage and my 2-year supply of makeup that set me apart. Living as a Peace Corps volunteer in Eswatini in Africa immersed me in a country with traditional culture designed to keep the people down. Polygamy, no free education, a civil court that was trumped by a traditional court. But the people I encountered were resilient, smart, hardworking, kind, funny, and loving. In greeting people, you learn to say, "Sani bonani," which means, "I see you." You learned the response was yebo, which means, "Yes, I see you too." My experience as a Peace Corps volunteer taught me to be open to people, to see them, that we can have big differences on the outside, but on the inside, we have so much in common. Try to see people and accept them for who they are and where they are in life, on that day and in that moment. Spend less time thinking about what you like or dislike, and more time being open to the person that they are inside. As a chemistry teacher and softball coach, I'm a believer in growth and providing students with opportunities to be challenged, to struggle, and yes, sometimes fail, and to learn how to recover. The failures, the losses, and the challenges that we endure have silver linings. Learning to reflect on these moments and find the silver linings can help us to change our perspective and often alter our paths in some positive way, to choose a different path in the wood than we might otherwise. I would like to share with you one of my silver linings. My path was altered and led me to Concord-Carlisle with a challenging experience at a school district down the road in 2001. At the start of class one day, I noticed a student pointing at his shirt. As the boy turned to face me, the image on his shirt came into focus. It was a highly offensive cartoon of a woman, sectioned off and labeled with body parts, like a cow in a butcher shop. I quietly asked the student to step outside for a moment and asked him if he had a sweatshirt he could put on or if he would turn the t-shirt inside out. Why? He asked. Well, I find your shirt offensive. Why? He asked. I think you know why, I said, but if you are not willing to turn it inside out, you will need to go down to the principal's office. Should I take my books? No, I said. You will be back. I felt certain that he would return with the shirt covered up or replaced. He was back 10 minutes later with a note which read, "Cricket. If you want him to spend the rest of the period in the office, he can." He still had on the shirt. I sent the student back to the office with his books. I called down to the assistant principal, and to my disbelief was told that it was his right to wear that shirt. Many meetings ensued. Those of you who know me know that. Had one of the girls in my class complained, the student would have been sent home. Had the student tried to hang the same image on a poster on the wall, it would have been taken down. Yes, it was offensive, but I had to fill out paperwork to stop the shirt from being worn so that I wouldn't feel harassed. I was asked, "How did you ask him to leave the room? What did the t-shirt look like again? Are you sure that is what was on the shirt?" It was so much easier for people to believe that I had overreacted. It felt like I had failed. I wasn't supported. It felt like I stood alone. A few weeks later, I shared the story as a guest speaker in an education class at Holy Cross that was being taught by a person who served as my mentor, Dennis Cleary. Yes, the Dennis Cleary of our moot court, a longtime history teacher, who still has many people here who mentored him and has made such a difference in this community and is still remembered and loved for that work. A few months later, he called me to tell me there was a chemistry position at CC and that I had to interview. In fact, he said, "I hope they're sexually harassing the hell out of you down there, so you will at least take the interview." That was a voicemail message that he left me. I soon found myself sitting in Principal Art Dulong's office about to be offered a job. Towards the end of the interview, he asked me if I had any questions. I said, "I do." And I'm not supposed to ask it, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it's the kind of person I am. My husband and I are trying to start a family. How are you going to feel if I come to you in June or in September and ask for a maternity leave? Without hesitation, Mr. DeLong said to me, "You are not supposed to ask that question because we are not hiring you for 6 months. We are hiring you for 20 years, and we hope to see that baby off to college." So I arrived and taught 8 weeks and took a maternity leave that first year. And here I am, literally 20 years later. That baby just finished his freshman year of college. And I stand here so grateful for what I get to do every day. That is not to say that the path has been easy, but the journey has been so worth it. Filled with incredible students, colleagues, friends, and experiences. Now that is quite a silver lining. I am humbled and grateful to stand here today and have the privilege of sharing in part of your path at CC. I hope that you remember that life is a journey and always stay open to your path taking unexpected turns. In Siswati, instead of saying goodbye, they say hambani gasle, which means go well. Go well. Take risks. Do things that make you feel challenged and uncomfortable. Know that you will sometimes fail. Embrace that failure. Lean in. Learn from it and grow. Find your silver linings. Thank you for being one of my silver linings. Hambani Gashle, class of 2022.
Two quick things I'd like to say about cricket. First of all, that story she told about the principal, I just want to be clear, that wasn't me, okay? Secondly, she applauded the staff, and it's a well-deserved applause, but truthfully, nobody deserves a greater round of applause than cricket. I revere hard work, and you'd be hard-pressed to find another person who works harder than cricket does. So. It's now the time we've all been waiting for. So please welcome to the stage class advisors, Josh Reed and Ray Pavlik Jr. You guys have it? Yes.
Just start going. Eli Kogan Holmes. Shivani Unaporna Devasala. Campbell Albert McDonald. Mia Ann Caruso. Alexandra Firth Newman. AJ Montero Goncalves. Audrey McInnes Carter. Emma Celeste Tonys. Caroline Grace Allard. Meera Lakshmi Dervasala. Delphine Apney Garreau. Emily Curtis Gorowitz. Griffin Kennedy Meyer. Sarah Kate Simmons. Lynn Abada. Samuel Robert Adams. Diana Ahmed. Henry Breed Allen.
Cameron Majid Amusgar. Alexis Ann Arley. Thomas Michael Azzarella. Vincent Alexander Babu. Josephine DeVere Badgley. Sarah Bagusra. Remy Marie Bailey. Rachel Logan Barrick. Tucker Ryan Barrick. Lana Lorelei Bardzik. William James Barrett. Charlotte Lillian Beakley. Zoe Bell. Alyssa Yoshida Baladi. Alicia Mariana Benavides. Sophia Julia Benoit. Daniel McCullough Burlum. Charles Peter Bernardin. Wolfie de Oliveira Barouette. Lane Thomas Betancourt.
Hannah Catherine Betts. Andrew Leonard Bistris. Siri Louise Bierke. Lars Bronson Bjork. William Christian Guillermo Blevins. Emma Marie Bouquion. Abigail Elizabeth Bodenrader. Matthew William Bonifant. Henry Philip Booth. Margaret Reed Bowers. Supreme Elijah Brooks. Benjamin Wharton Broxson. Lila Jolie Bruno. Marco Andre Brunette. Lucy Madeline Bunnage. Ashley K. Burpee. William Joseph Kane. James Emerson Carlton. Nicole Marie Seeley.
Bonnie Earhard Chadwick. Erin Elizabeth Challenger. Elliot Morris Chapman. Max Matthew Shard. Ariel Samuela Charles. Shiloh Chu. Bryn Isabella Semino. Joshua Keith Clahar Jr. Felicity Moijing Clamp. Jasper Bela Clarkson. Alexander Nicholas Cobb. Jennifer Lauren Colbert. Thomas William Cologne. Mia Severi Camo. James Avery Connors. Porter Chamberlain Poutre. Annalena Isabel Couvillon. Sarah McGovern Creamer. Colin Jordan Kuipers. Malia Ayana Cook-Wright.
Hazel Marie Sear. Skylar May DeBraccio. Luisa Jennifer D'Ambrosio. Matthew Thomas D'Alessandro. Fiona Ann Mulqueen Daly. Sarah Daniel. Francis Davies. Claire Elizabeth Derzarian. Aria Desai. Catherine Ann DeVincent. Zanaya Satira Crystalie Du Venus. Catherine Nicole Diaz. Rebecca Holland Dibble. Amel Durain. Elciario Santiago Dolmech. Ava Christina Dominguez. Colin Thomas Donnelly. Aiden Ryan Dowd. Michael Xavier Downing. Sydney Morgan Durlock.
Charles Paul Eaton. Emma Elizabeth Ely. Chelsea Taylor M.D. Jardine. Daniel Ehrlich Herzog. Maxine Deliana Ernst. Sydney Kate Fabrega. Claire Farber. Payson Bacher Fielding. William Christian Finn. Raleigh David Fisher. Ashley Elizabeth Woodman Fitzgerald. Kyle Michael Fevick. Julia Christine Fortier. Rohan Gadam. Madeline Gambino. Aaron Gao. August Renee Geraci. Nevea Eva Glenn. Ahen Goyle.
Ayan Goyle. Brianna Christine Gourdet. Sophie Ella Gower. Benjamin Michael Grace. John Leland Grace. Finn Shea Granfield. Ashley Dorothy Grant. Allison Finley Griswold. Rachel Jane Grundy. Luisa Lucina Gutierrez. Jessica Grace Hackman. Amelia Wu Hammond. Leah Alexis Hanger. Liam Michael Harrington. Rachel May Sosa Hayes. Timothy Amistoy Hayes. Carl Jeremiah Hedges Small. Jacqueline Ann Headland. Corinne Mackenzie Herr.
April Marie Hershelman. Emily Jane Hershelman. Mia Kathleen Hershelman. Alina Teresa Hetling. Nia Kendi Hislop. James Neil Hoagland. Zachary James Hooven. Karina Reed Hosford. Nathaniel Hubbard Nelson. Lily McNeil Hudner. Olivia Charlotte Hughes. Maxwell Lyndon Inman. Josephine Catherine Eisenberg. Daniel Benno Jaffe. Jamia Talasha Jenkins. Dylan Edward Jennings. Madeline Chapuis Jensen. Kayla Joachim. Hazel Signey Johnstone.
Ambika Joshi. Lucas Harding Camone. Alicia Leanne Kearney. Declan James Keefe. Isabella Rose Keene. Samia Asif Khan. Amanda Ray Kiefer. Annalise K. King. Ezekiel Okelo Mutovu Huber Kiwanuka. Next up is first is Wesley Nelson Kleiman, who is competing today at all-state track and field meet. Mila Isabel Kosick. Ivy Jane Kokoska. Duncan Robert Kuchar. Lillian Una Quivinen. William Ruslan Kulwitz. Connor Barrett Ladd. Davis Michael Lambert. Parker Pierce Lamoth.
Michael Peter Lando. Annika Kyle Lathrop. Kaylee Elizabeth Leary. Henry Augustus Thaddeus Lease. Noelle Elizabeth Ledoux. Alexander Beck Lafever. Sophie Marie Legault. Waverly Chin Leonard. Lucas Sergio Lethierry. Alexander Shen Lee. Christopher Shen Lee. Ramy Drew Little. Abigail Williams Long. Ava Jane Laporto. Noah Tayo Lowinger. Bryce Asa Lublin. Samuel Thomas Lichkowski. Richard Kieran Lyons. Owen Patrick McQueen.
Amir Zuber Malek. Liam Marcus Manning. Mirabella Helen Marcianti. Amazi Hassan Mayush. Emma Elizabeth McCullum. Luke Charles McCrory. Ryan William McCullough. Mary Margaret McGrath. William Corbett McIntosh. Bailey Elizabeth McIntyre. Quinn Ryan McIntyre. Mia Irene McKinnon. Riley Alexandra McNeil. Kate Cecilia Megan. James Mercer. Andrew Callahan Meyer. Marco Antonio Milioli. Audrey Leanne Myrak. Yago Morale Rodriguez. Alicia Verrier Moran.
Kira Verrier Moran. Morgan Rose Morell. Lucy Elizabeth Morris. Kendall Francis Mullaney. Carter Patrick Murphy. Hassan Ziad Nejmaldeen. Haley Nicole Newcomb. Ashley Archer Neiman. Caitlin Rose Nigborowitz. Carter Barrett O'Brien. Luke Miles O'Donnell Wyant. Stephen John O'Leary. Abigail Patricia Ogden. Grace Barbara Ogden. Killian Joseph Ogden. Nina Taggart Olney. Colleen Nicole Ormsby. Alicia Ortiz. Lottie Enwen Owen.
Jordan Vladimir Owen. Grace Isabella Parody. Aiden Alexander Peckett. Taylor Jade Pierce. Megan Holly Perry. Kylie Renee Pietropalo. Madeline Irene Pettis. Ellen Jordan Polig. Caroline Ann Pollock. Aiden Todvin Pompel. Victoria Mary Postler. Eliza Devil Potter. Rowan James Potter. Marin Avery Price. Ashana R. Rao. Serena Rehana Razik. Samara May Reed. Evelyn Jeanette Reedy. Catherine Anna Richardson.
Christian Matthew Rivers. Kayleen Bell Robertson. Daniel Vieira Brandao Rodriguez. Christoph Rohali Medved. Sydney Ann Ryan. William Leahy Rye. Matthew Joseph Sabio. Naomi Bell Schumann. Elizabeth Marie Schofield. Amy Elizabeth Sapuka. Joshua William Samard. Anne-Mary Scaria. Ada Lee Sleppen. Leah Mary Smith. Skylar Elizabeth Smith. Susanna Westfall Snell. Michael Wasing Soares. Carter Lawrence Sohn. Kendall Jean Sommel. Lana Ray Soto. Paul Sorrenti.
Benjamin Thomas Sprague. Elizabeth Mary Stanier. Margaret Odette Stewart. Graham Sebastian Stewart. Bowen Supple. Rebecca Ann Sutter. Ruth Elizabeth Swain. Isabella Siri Sinisfet. Zakaria Hamid Tami. Cyrus Zachary Tavakol. Tay Chi-Ying. Miranda Morris Taylor. Jake Neil Tebow. Benjamin Raymond Topol. Cecily Catherine Torres. Emmeline Faye Tubbs. Owen James Tucker. Sophie Dean Van Orden. Emmanuel Jacob Vasiliadis.
Thomas Ryan Vaughn. Grace Eddie Versace. Henry Nico Voloski. Lainey Diane Volz. Grace Andrea Waldeck. Daniel River Wang. Vincent Yuchen Wang. Luke Robert Warner. Henry David Wasserman. Miles Nathaniel Weathers. John Taylor Webster. Nicholas Marco Weffers. Joshua Lee White. Owen Anderson White. Isabel Whiteside. Julian Nicholas Whitney. Anne Marin Wiener. Amari Christian Williams.
Ailish O'Sullivan Wilson. Maxwell Wenli Wong. John Michael Vincent Yaga. Tiana Young. Tariq Damian Zine. Joshua Zhang. Julia Marie Zippoli.
All right, folks.
How about one more round of applause for these kids? Before we end the ceremony and announce you a graduate, two quick announcements. Number one, I just want to thank all the people that make this day today possible. Leanne Donnelly, Martha Hammer, my team, the police. There's a lot of effort that goes into this event, so thank you, everybody. Second, there is a tradition, non-sanctioned, I might add, of smoking cigars on the field. So what I would suggest, this field costs $1 million. The grass over there we can replant. So if we could make our way, that would be great. Now, students, please stand. Let's all soak this moment in for 5 seconds, please. Now move your tassel from right to left. You are now officially a graduate of CCHS. Congratulations.